Messiah is coming back for. So prepare yourself for the second coming of the Messiah. Our people have been asleep for thousands of years, for hundreds of years. We have been in mental slavery, not knowing ourselves, not knowing who we are, because we think we are Africans, we think we are niggers, we think we are Negroes, coons, blacks, whatever title they put upon us. But according to the Bible, we are the true Israelites according to the Most High words. We are the sons and daughters of the Most High Creator, the Father, who created the heavens and the earth. So our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, not knowing who they are. So we're going to bring out the word and let the Bible prove that we are the true people of the Most High, and we have to come back to the Most High, keeping the statutes, laws, and judgment and commandments that He has given us. So let's wake up Arima tonight and show Arima what the truth is according to the Bible.
That's right!
Right, so let's go to the book of John chapter 8 verse 32. Book of John chapter 8 verse 32.
The book of John chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So the Bible says you will know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So let me find out in the Bible what is truth in order for us, our minds to be free. Free from the mental slavery that we've been taught. Free from the lies and deception of this world, of churchianity, of the religions, of politics. We have to be free our minds from all these things. Because the Most High chooses us to be a separate people from all nations of people upon the face of the earth. Give me Psalms 119 verse 142.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
What is the truth?
Thy law is the truth.
So the Bible tells you that the Most High law is the truth. So that's why our people need to come back to this Bible, because for too long, churchianity has been teaching us that the law is done away with, that we no longer live after the Old Testament laws. So hence the reason why many of our people are not reading the Old Testament anymore. They say that done away with, but the Bible never tell you that. Messiah never tell you that. So the Bible says that the law is the truth. Read verse 151.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 151. Thou art near, O Lord, and all thy commandments are truth.
So the Bible says all the Most High commandments are truth. So how it is that the Christian churches is not teaching these things? Because these are the type of things that we need to know concerning the Bible. But because they want you to not read the Old Testament anymore, because the Old Testament is the foundation of the New. How you could do away with something that is root of the New Testament? So that's why our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Give me Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. So our people need to come back to this Bible, because this Bible teaches everything we need to know about ourselves. Right? Every single race of people upon the face of the earth could trace where they came from. But we as Negroes and so-called Negroes in this land of Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Haiti, Barbados, St. Vincent, we do not know who we are. We think we are Africans. But the Bible never tells you we are Africans. Read that.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
So he said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So sometimes he's not talking about the people in China, he's not talking about the people in India, he's not talking about the people in Africa. He's talking about his people in all his Israel. Give me the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 10. Right, read it again.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
So he said, my people, he's talking about Israel. He said, Israel is destroyed for lack of knowledge. So let me find out who's the Most High people. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 10. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel.
The children of who?
The children of Israel.
The children of Israel is the people of the Most High. So read that again, brother.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee.
So the Bible says we reject the knowledge of the Most High. That's why we have no knowledge at all. We have no knowledge at all. Give me the book of Malachi chapter 2 verse 6 and 7. So he said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have no knowledge. The Most High will reject us. Read.
That thou shalt be no priest to me.
that you shall not be a minister or pastor or priest for the Most High. So if you have no knowledge of this Bible, you cannot minister for the Most High.
That's right.
Read on.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High.
Seeing thou hast forgotten what?
The law of the Most High.
Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High, go ahead.
I will also forget thy children.
So you want to know why these youths and them are committing all the crimes in Trinidad and Tobago? The Most High has forgotten these youths and them.
That's right.
Because why? The murders, when you look at all the prisoners, there's only youths you're seeing in the jail cells.
Yeah.
You understand? Sagging the pants below the bottom, smoking weed at the corner and the block. Our young ladies are prostituting themselves, being half naked on the streets, not dressing properly at all. All these things cause our people to be in the state of mind that we are, because we follow the ways of the other nations and we're trying to be better than them when we're supposed to be an example for them. We didn't like them. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to come out of that foolish mentality that we blacks and Negroes have. We're doing worse than the other nations. Right? So the Bible says, we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's why we cannot come out of the mental slavery that we are in. You understand what I'm saying? Read on. Read it again.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High. I will also forget thy children.
So the reason why we are in the position that we are in, we have forgotten the Most High laws. We have forgotten the Most High commandments. Because your wicked pastor tell you the laws that are not because you don't understand the Bible. Because what you've been taught by a slave master who resurrect these theology schools for you to learn the Bible, and the slave master will never teach you the truth. The slave master wants to keep you in ignorance. It's the reason why he cannot let you know that you are the true Israelites.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that is why they tell us the laws that are with it, when the Bible never tell you that. You understand what I'm saying? So let me find out what the Bible says the law is good, what the Bible says the priests have to know. Read it.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
For the priest's lips should keep what?
The priest's lips should keep knowledge.
So the Bible said all priests of the Most High are supposed to keep knowledge. Read on.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
And all priests, we should seek the law at the priest's mouth. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever the priest has to talk, any congregation, you got to bring it out of the laws.
That's
You understand what I'm saying? Read on.
For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
For he's a messenger of the Most High, the creator of the hosts. So that's why our people do not know the Bible and we're not being taught the right way. That's the reason why the destruction will come upon us, because we know the truth of this Bible. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why he says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's the reason why you see the murders are continuing in Trinidad and Tobago and it's escalating every year. Why? Because these youths and them are getting out of hand and they have no example by the parents or by the teachers to bring these youths up, because children making children right now.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? No example at all. So we have to come out of that kind of mentality, because that mentality is destroying us right now. You understand what I'm saying? Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might.
Right, he says you shall love the Creator Yahweh with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. In other words, what he's saying there, that is what you call it, in the time of Israel, you call that the Shema. That verse there is called the Shema. It is based upon the number one commandment out of all the commandments. There are two great commandments. Remember what Messiah was talking about, two great commandments? He said the number one commandment is love Yahweh with all thy heart, and with all thy mind, and with all thy soul. And the second is like unto you, love thy neighbor as thyself, right? So this is where they get that verse from. And it is called, in biblical Hebrew, it's called the Shema. The Shema. You understand what I said? And read on.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
So you should teach these words unto your children. This is what the parents of them is lacking, because they do not know what to teach their children. They teach their children all kind of foolishness that is not for their welfare or their well-being or for their life on earth. All they're teaching them is what their slave master taught them. You know what I'm saying? So we need to teach our children the Most High laws and commandments, especially the Shema, which is the number one commandment in the whole Bible.
That's right.
Read on.
And shall talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
So every time you with your children, you should teach your children these things, so that your children will be edified and know that the Creator Yahweh loves them. So you blacks and Negroes, you are the true Israelites according to the Bible. So the Bible is letting you know that you are the ones that you have to teach your children, and your children have to teach their next generation. That is how it was in the time of Israel. But because we lost our language, we lost our heritage, we lost our nationality due to slavery, we do not know who we are.
That's right.
And the Bible prophesied that the nation of Israel will go into slavery on slave ships. We're going to bring out all of that for you tonight. Now go to Deuteronomy 28. Let me get the facts. Verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So once you start to keep the commandments, the Most High promised the nation of Israel, he will set them high above all the nations of the earth. They will not be equal to the other nations. They will be above them. You understand that? So this is why the Most High let us know that commandments and the statutes must be kept. And this is why the oppressor don't want you to know. Because why? It was against him. Anytime we come back to the Most High laws and commandments, the oppressor who had us in slavery in the past, his kingdom is in trouble.
That's right.
And they know that. And they know that. Continue reading.
Which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High.
Right, so the Bible says all these blessings or honor or prosperity or benefits will happen to the children of Israel if you keep the Most High commandments and statutes. Read verse 9 now.
Verse 9. The Most High shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High thy God.
So the Most High says he will establish us a righteous people unto us, a set apart people. The word holy means set apart. So he will establish us as set apart people unto who? Himself. Give me the book of Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. Read it again.
Bring it up.
The Most High shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High.
If thou shalt keep what?
The commandments of the Most High, and walk in his ways.
Well,
And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Most High, and they shall be afraid of thee.
so that's why these nations are not afraid of us, because our people is not keeping the commandments anymore. All nations are supposed to be afraid of us, because why? The power of the Most High is with us.
That's right.
But if we're not keeping the commandments, how could the power of the Most High be with us? We'll be at the bottom of the ladder in society according to the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? So read that from Deuteronomy 7 verse 6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Most High has chosen us to be a special people unto himself, above, not equal to, not below, above all people on the face of the earth.
That's right.
So it is teaching us that our people need to come back to the Most High commandments and laws. It's plain and simple like that. That is the necessity for our coming back to the Most High.
That's right.
So let's read it again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So we are above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Our people have never known these truths because why? It's been kept from us for thousands of years, for hundreds of years, not knowing our nationality, our language, who we are as a people. Give me Jeremiah 17 verse 4. We have lost all of that because of ignorance. Sister, hello? You know the Bible, sis? You don't read the Bible? You love the Most High? How do you love the Most High, sis? Yes, sis? You can answer me, a little conversation you have in here, you know. How do you love the Most High, sis? You see, simple things like these, plenty people do not know. You understand what I'm saying? But read that for me.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
So we will discontinue from the heritage that the Most High gave us. That's why we end up in the problem that we are in.
That's right.
We don't.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
So we have kindled a fire in the Most High anger that will burn forever because we have lost our nationality, we have lost our language, we do not know what tribe we came from. All these things, it will prevent us from being closer to the Most High because of sin, because of disobedience. All these things cause our people to be in the condition that they are in.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So the Most High said we must keep the commandments and the laws and the statutes in order for we to be established as a great people upon the face of the earth, above all people upon the face of the earth.
That's right.
Right, go give it to 28, verse 15 now. So as the Bible gives us the information, we're going to give you the truth that comes from the Bible. Why our people are in the condition that they're in. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the Most High says if we do not listen to the voice of the Most High, right, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his laws and his judgment, everything that comes with the package, he said curses will come upon us, and it will not only come upon us but it will overtake us. That means it will be something generational. It will be a generational curse according to the Most High. So our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, not knowing these things. So we have to come back to the Most High commandments, laws and statutes, so the Most High can come back to us according to the Bible. That is what the truth is. Right? Read on.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
If you watch blacks and Negroes, Native Indians, the condition that we are in right now, right? We are cursed in the city. We live in the poorest part of the city. We live in the ghettos and the slums and the beatums. All other places where we cannot go, like Goodwood Park and all these other places, rich places, we cannot go there, these places. We are cursed in the city, right? We got to love our own brothers in the city, right? We in poverty. We in the city, we're doing servitude work. We're not owning no business. We don't have nothing to sustain us, to say we could pass it on to our next generation.
That's right.
So that's why the Bible says we are cursed in the city. You understand what I'm saying? Read on.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
So every time we plan to, like we're saving up our money to do something always going wrong. We never being successful in accomplishing what we have to do. You understand what I'm saying? So the Bible says, cursed shall thou be in the city, in our basket, our store will be demolished. You understand what I'm saying? So that is why our people need to come back to this Bible. You understand what I'm saying? The Most High commandments and laws is what get ourselves right so that we could come back to the Most High with our heart, all our minds, and with all our souls. Read on.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land.
So the fruit of thy body is what? Your children. Our children, this generation, every generation coming up is worse and worse. The youth and them are not being taught the right thing, so because they are not taught the right thing, every generation is rebelling against society, rebelling against the government, rebelling against the churches, rebelling against big people and the teachers. You've seen children disrespecting their teachers at school. You've seen children disrespecting their parents, cursing out their parents. So the Bible says, curse be the fruit of thy body, right? That is who they're talking about. Our children are disobedience. That's why you have so much youths in the prisons today.
That's right.
Because the children are not taught the right things. That's why they're in the position that they're in today. You understand? We need to come back to these laws and commandments and statutes so that the Most High will help us in every situation we have to do for Him. You understand what I'm saying? Read on.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind.
Alright, the fruit of thy land, what are they talking about? When we are working in the sugarcane field, in the cotton field, in the rice field, all these fields that we were working under slavery, we cannot eat the things that we plant. You understand what I said? We have to work from sun up to sundown. That's how it was. You understand what I said? With no rest at all. And if we take our rest, we get whipped. So the Bible says we are cursing the field. Right now we cursing the work field. You understand what I'm saying? Because they say first fire and last hired. That way they say with blacks and Negroes. We are cursed in everything. We don't get the best job. Sometimes you see a black man might have 6 and 7 or 8 passes or 9. And they would rather give the work to somebody that has 3 passes that is of a different race. That is not of our people.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That is what's going on in the society today. We've seen it every day. White collar crime, that way they call it.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that is why our Bible says we are cursed, because we're not keeping the commandments and the laws and the statutes of the Most High. That's why we are in the position that we are in today. You understand what I'm saying? Read on.
And the flocks of thy sheep.
The flocks of thy sheep. Remember the Native Indians used to mine buffalo. You understand what I'm saying? They kill out all the buffalo because they know that the Native Indians depend on that. You understand what I'm saying? Just like they kill out all our animals when we was in the west coast of Africa too. Because the people didn't know that. So that is what's going on today. Now when we have animals mining, it's either somebody come and thief them, it's either they get poisoned, or some type of thing. So that's why the Bible says we are cursed in our animals that we mine also. You understand what I'm saying? Read on.
Cursed shall be when thou comest in, and cursed thou be when thou goest out.
When thou comest in, that means anytime you enter your house, because suffer your house to be broken in. Sometimes you might see a whole drawing room gone. I know places like that, people coming back in a truck and take everything in your house.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? When they say curse, when thou comest in, sometimes your own children, you understand, thieving your money or anything that you have. You understand what I'm saying? Curse shall be, that will be when thou goest out. Sometimes you might get a stray bullet as you walk down the road. Or a bottle might be flying and you hit you in your face. All these things will cause our people to be annihilated. Why? Because these are the things that the Most High say that He will protect us from if we start to keep the commandments.
Queen of Bacchanal, what do these demons and these devils have to do with the Most High God?
Bring it out.
And the scorners delight in their scorning.
And it's quite exactly because guess what? Although we are here and we are speaking the Bible, there are many of you all who say, "Why them niggas just don't go home?" There is plenty of you all saying, but we don't care because we are reading the truth according to the scriptures.
That's right.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2 and verse 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding.
The Lord gave the wisdom, because you might think in school, the chemistry, the biology, the IT, wherever it might be, you might think by they the wisdom, the genius book, how you say, the book of world records or the wherever. This is the primary source of knowledge. But guess what? We as a people, we reject what is most important. We prefer buy a J's for $2,000 than to pay the rent. We prefer buy things that make us look good on the outside than to prefer do something and apply the laws of the Most High God. And we have to understand that this calling is not going to be out forever. The Most High God is extending His hands right now. Because many of you will go to the book of St. Matthew chapter 24 and 37. As in the days of Noah. So many of you all might be watching what's going on with the news and saying, well boy, like just conspiracy that was happening. But you have to understand that these things are indicators for those who are watching, because Christ appearing as a thief in the night. But for those who are expected, we do not know the day nor the hour, but we're supposed to be better prepared. And that is what we are trying to reach you all. So you all be better prepared. Go ahead.
The book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So, as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of Christ, the black Messiah, be. What board is that? Raise up the board, Abiel, raise up the board with Christ there. Alright, so this image right here is a better depiction. Raise it up, right, Abiel. Raise it up so for the people across here to see. Yeah, Revelation 1. So this depiction here, people who buy the doubles, they within 35 seconds just to turn around and look at this. This depiction here is a proper and better depiction how Christ look according to the scriptures. Right, Abel, you can pray down now. Right? Revelation 1 and verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So, when people say find out that Christ is a dark-skinned man, the first thing people like to say, but nobody never see him. How could you never see a man that was crucified? How could you never see a man that had disciples that raised people from the dead? How could you never see a man that turned water into wine? But no, it's just simplicity. You do not want to accept the fact that he dark-skinned, because why? The so-called white man taught us that we, everything dark, evil. Right? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, better.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 3. For I delivered unto you first of all.
Wait, there's in the Old or the New Testament?
New.
Right, so for you all who claim to be Christians, listen.
For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the scriptures.
So the Israelite sins, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Caribs, and Arawaks, but hear the niceness. Go ahead.
And that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the scriptures.
Now hear this. Go ahead.
And that he was seen.
He was what?
He was seen.
He was what?
He was seen.
So people have a remark, Christ the black Messiah was seen. So therefore it is impossible for you to say that nobody never see him. It's just you do not want to accept the fact that he looked like a Negro person. So now the question is, what does it matter? He can be red, black, white, blue. John chapter 8 and verse 32. Let me start it. The truth matters, because if you want to say it doesn't matter how Christ looked, better don't matter nothing what you do. Right? Because John chapter 8 and verse 32, you must know the truth. How could you say you believe God or you love God and you do not want to hear the truth? How? That doesn't even make sense. Right? John chapter 8 and verse 32.
The book of John chapter 8 verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
And the truth shall make you mentally, spiritually, and physically free. Because guess what? When we start to keep the laws, we will understand the diet. And when we apply the diet laws, we wouldn't be in this hospital so much. We wouldn't be eating all this pork. We wouldn't be eating all this on TV. No coronavirus. And I the other thing too. You mean to tell me that these people, bro, in Trinidad, here I tell you all tonight, eh? When I find out about this coronavirus and I saw the videos with the bat, I am 100% sure We eat real plenty dog in Trinidad from them Chinese people.
That's right.
I am 100% sure that video was so disgusting.
Bring it out.
And guess what? Although we saw what was going on, the next day, plenty of people back in that Chinese restaurant.
That's right. Say it loud.
The next day, plenty of us back in the Chinese restaurant. That is the mindset. That is how sick we are as a people.
That's right.
That's something different.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law.
Wait, Corona written in the Bible? No. Read that over again.
Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Until we be destroyed. And are we not to destroy people today? Look at it. Anybody have any questions? Do not be afraid to come. We are here for you. Our people. We are standing up. We are fighting the fight. So you don't understand again, people of Arima. We have to come back to the laws of the Most High God. Right? We have to keep the commandments. Right? Good night. Avi, you have anything that look familiar there on the flyer? Alright, well, here this. Let me get you all lower by the time, right? You take the picture if you want. Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman,
Hear this, sir.
the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So the scripture say that a woman is supposed to be wearing that which pertains to a man. You know where is that? Like talking about the pants girl, because guess what? When men we see a girl with her pants and thing, the only thing we looking at is one thing, and then after you might think somebody like you, but the only one, you understand where I'm coming from, right? So people of Arima, you're supposed to be dressing modest, because the Mark said this, right? If you see me or any one of us here wearing a skirt or a dress, what be the first thing coming to your mind? That we get? Now flip it. How it is, if a boy or a male wearing a dress gay, how it is if a girl wear pants?
Somehow it's okay.
It will go from somehow according to who standard, according to the white people and them. Right? But that's not true. Another thing, to your knowledge,
They're supposed to wear skirts.
yeah, they're supposed to dress modest. They're supposed to cover, because if you look at it, back in time, grandmothers and them primarily used to wear the dresses and things. I have a question for you. Who is this person here? Well, to your knowledge, right? Who is this man here? You don't know, but if I ask anybody, this doesn't look like Jesus. Oh, she ain't seen it properly. Just come a little closer. Huh? You see that? Exactly. That is what they taught us as Christ. But there's no way in the Bible. This man is an impostor. According to the scriptures, Christ more look like him. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14 to 15. Right? So let me get out the... Go Revelation chapter 1 verse 14. But you have any questions at all?
No, I can't stay alone. I'm going home. I don't finish it.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
Now go to verse 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
So Avi, what do you know what text here is wool?
It's like Negro hair.
All praises to the Most High. Negro here, there's our text here, but if Christ has woolly here, the white man who they post up, what text here he has?
Yes, straight hair.
So that alone can show you that something wrong with that white image they have. Go ahead.
And his eyes was a flame of fire.
Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Avi, what color is brass?
Brass?
Brass.
Like a copper color.
And what color is that?
Kind of... This kind of dress.
Alright, so brass is a dark color, but my question, if you burn your pot or if you burn food, what color are you going to be? So how to what extent did Christ's feet look?
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burnt in a furnace.
As if they were burnt in a furnace. So he was dark according to the scriptures, right?
Right.
So at least you learn two things tonight. Well, you're an Israelite, you can read it on the back pass of the flyer. Women are supposed to be in pants, men are supposed to be in dresses, and that the proper depiction of Christ is actually a Negro person, right? All praises to the Most High. So now, let me go to the book of Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. Let us get what the Bible says, Mr. Black man, Mr. Hispanic man. Let us come back to the standard, to the precedents which we are supposed to be following, that Christ set first.
That's right.
Go ahead.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11. And that, knowing the time,
Well, there you go.
and that, knowing the time,
And that knowing the time, Mr. Blackman, watch are the times going on worldwide. God,
that now it is high time,
it is low time,
it is high
it
time
is high time, it is urgent time, it is important time to what?
to awake out of sleep,
To awake and to remove yourself from religion, from Christianity, from Islam, from all these different loopholes that have our people. God,
for now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
it is nearer than we can perceive, Mr. Blackman. You know, we talking here. If anybody have any questions, feel free to come. We are here. Come any sister for even comment still. Any brother, you have any questions, any vehicle? Do you know that you are an Israelite? Watch me. Watch the. Go ahead.
The book of Daniel chapter 12 verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake.
So many of our people, and yeah, just Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 8, 12 and verse 8. Go ahead.
Some to everlasting life.
So many of our people. Wait, we don't go back again. That's something. Go ahead.
The book of Daniel chapter 12 verse 2.
Go ahead.
And many of
And
them,
how much?
many of them
Go ahead.
that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake.
So in other words, from the days of slavery, we were fully asleep, and in this time, many of us shall awake to what?
Some to everlasting life.
So some would awake to the commandments, some would make it in the wilderness and make it in the kingdom, but on the other side,
And some to shame and everlasting contempt.
in other words, is death. So that is what's going to happen, and that is what you are seeing here today.
That's right.
Anybody have any questions here? Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 8, then we go to Proverbs. Go ahead.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 12 and verse 8. In that day
In that day,
shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David.
so this is actually Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. My bad. But the scripture here is saying that the Most High God, those that are awake to everlasting happiness, everlasting joy, everlasting life, the Most High God will defend us, and we will be as mighty as the mighty man of David in the commandments. When we keep the laws and the Most High God bless us, that is the stature that we will be. But Zechariah 13 and verse 8. Go ahead.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord,
Go ahead.
2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be lifted therein.
But the third shall what?
Shall be lifted therein, left therein.
And the third shall be left therein. So again, we are here. Right now we are fishing for our people. We are searching for our people. Those who want to be found, those who the Most High God have in store, you will be here.
That's right.
And we are doing this until death. I'm speaking about myself because guess what? How I see it, when I look on by the power of the Most High, when I look on Instagram, when I look on WhatsApp, when I look on Facebook, and I see the type of things that are being posted, when I look on YouTube and I see the type of music videos that are being made, when I look around, I say, boy, me as a person, I am so happy to be posting righteousness because it has so much of things being posted on Instagram, especially by those of my generation. If you see the type of madness getting posted, that is why I have no fear to stand up to the best of my ability by the power of the Most High and do what I do in here. If you have a problem with that, that is your fault.
That's
right. Because guess what? When Christ was on the scene, all of them came against him. His own people. when the disciples were on the scene, the same thing. When the prophets, Elijah, Moses, all of them are the scene. It's the same thing. So it's no different today or tonight when you all against us have a problem. It will be saying, they ain't doing we nothing, I can tell you that. Go ahead, Prophet Malachi, anything.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers, ye are gone away from my ordinances, and have not kept them.
Even from the days of your fathers, we as a people have forsaken what the Most High God is saying. Forsaken His commandments, because guess what? The commandments is the real thing, you know. The commandments, go ahead.
Return unto me.
People of Arima, who are Israelites, do what?
Return unto me.
Return! Return! Come back right now. We have a chance, because the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. That means the day of our death, or it means when the Black Messiah returns. We have a chance now to return, because we are breathing breath in our nostrils. Read the Bible.
Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said,
but what? We are the people, what do we say?
wherein shall we return?
How? What madness? You mean to tell me? I go in and walk. We are friends, just that thing not looking like a curtain. I go and stop it pork. Brother, you have any questions? You have a minute to come a little closer or something to ask you concerning one of these boats. Bro? You listening? Alright, I have a question for you. What is your nationality? What is your race? What is your race? Alright, so yeah, let me go back to the book. Alright, go to the book. You finish it? Alright. You're swollen something for man. Right, Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 14. Go ahead.
The book of Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah.
Our Lord sprang out of Judah. So again, this is just for our people to understand that our complexion is something good. Do not be ashamed of our complexion. If you're dark skin, you get through. You have melanin in your skin, you get through. You have woolly hair on your head, you feel like the Most High God. Because guess what? Especially saw a couple of years ago, even today, once it was dark, the people like to come on your case. That is why this thing in Trinidad where the red man and red girl get so high. Because why? We have been taught to hate the complexion of the people.
That's right.
It's sad. If you really take time and look at it, you got to understand that what the Bible here is saying is a good thing. Now that is what we have to come back to. But we don't want to come back to that. We want to come back to YouTube. We want to come back and look like Lil Wayne. We want to look like all these other people who are in sin and not keeping the commandments of the Most High God. Why not emulate somebody who doing righteousness?
That's right.
But you want to emulate a pastor saying, but Jesus, you had to be mad. Sister, do you know according to the scriptures that you are supposed to be wearing something, mother is supposed to be wearing a dress, a skirt, your dress supposed to be for your husband. Brother, do you know that today is the Sabbath of the Most High God? You know, you're supposed to be here right now with us. That is what we are supposed to be doing. We are not supposed to be in this state that we are in right now. But guess what? Our blood is clean, I can guarantee you that.
If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us.
We're not coming up here and saying we don't have any sins, you know. We acknowledge that what here is to be done. Because this is what the Bible says. Give me that Acts chapter 5 and verse 31. Read. Read over.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. The things that are written in this Bible are for us to do. This is what the Bible talks about, a lamp unto our feet. The laws are the lamp unto our feet.
That's right.
The book of 1 John chapter 1 verse 8. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us.
If we say we have no sins, we are damn liar. That's what the Bible says.
That's right.
Because sin is transgression of the law. But this is how we can become perfect. Read.
The book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 31. Him has God exalted with his right hand.
This is Christ. The so-called man you call Christ and think he's a white man, right? Read.
To be a prince and a savior For to give repentance to Israel.
To give repentance unto Israel. That's why the Messiah died. And this is why he came and lived. So he can teach you how to live righteously. Repentance is converting your life back to the laws of the Most High. Continually trying to strive and doing what God said to do. Not what your pastor said to do. So give me that 1 Peter 4:11. Can I say you have any questions? You look like a man who's well versed in the word.
I'm a non-religionist.
We are non-religionists either. The Bible says he came for Israel. Not no religion.
Christ, and that's not.
He didn't say no Seventh-day Adventist. He didn't say no Pentecostal. He didn't say no homosexual Baptist. He said Israel.
That's right.
That's what the Bible says. Trinidad is garbage. Right? A white man came here and saw the land, saw trees and said Trinidad. Trinidad means Trinity. What that means to you? Give me that in Psalms 49, verse 11. Yes, we live in Trinidad. This is the land of our captivity.
What is real words? What real ways of wickedness?
Hear what I'm telling you. Listen to me very carefully, right? My forefathers came here in slave ships, bound on slave with chains.
That's right.
Your forefathers probably came here on the Fatal Razak. They had a choice to come here.
That's right.
My forefathers didn't, and this is the people I descend from. This is what the Bible says is my history.
Bring it out.
This is why I'm out here talking to my people so that they can understand who they are. Because we have no care about our history. Give me that in Romans 15 and verse 4. And the Bible commands us to understand where we came from. Because everybody says it. Like, you know, you need to know where you're coming from to know where you're going. But the black man say YOLO. Read.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime.
Whatsoever things were written aforetime. Black man, your history is in the Bible. Deuteronomy 28:68 says, the Israelites were going to slavery on slave ships. That was fulfilled in the year 1619.
That's right.
That's how we got here. That's how our people got here. That's how we came here. The other nations had a choice. And after they worked in gentryship, they got land. They got money. They got clothes. They got food. They had their own laws. They had their own people. Ask him. Hey bro, good night. Shalom. Good night. Come now, we'll talk. Nah, don't worry. I just only look like a beast, bro. I just only look like a beast.
I'm just recording. I'm going to take pictures of the...
Yeah, you go ahead now, bro. But in the meantime, you understand what we're trying to bring out here? You understand? Yeah, any questions?
Go ahead.
All right. Right, go ahead.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
The things that were written in this Bible, because we were taught that what written here is a fairy tale, it's a myth, it's just a puff. But this what written in here depicts our history. Because no other nation of people went into slavery on slave ships.
That's right.
They were scattered all over the world. Oh, you feel like a white man, but you just stay tuned, brother. Give me Acts 13 and 1. You just need to listen for 2 seconds and you realize that there's not a black man book. Well, you can do whatever the hell you want. Other people listen. Daniel 7 and 9.
The book of Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that was called nigger.
It was called nigger, not Caucasian, not redneck. Nigger. That's what the prophets were called.
That's right.
They were black men.
That's right.
Read. Yeah. They were black men. But when you watch your Easter movie with Moses, you see a white man saying, oh Lord. Right? That's lies. Read.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
The Ancient of Days is the Most High himself, because he existed before days.
Whose garments was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
And the hair on his head like the pure wool. Bro, what's his brother beard here? Hey bro, what's your brother beard there? You just do so well. Just pass your hand on your beard. Pass your hand on your beard. That's what pure wool is.
That's right.
This here, that's not wool. That's the images that they gave us. First Maccabees 3:48. All of these things were lies they put on us.
That's right.
The Most High himself said he had hair like wool. But guess what? Every black thing you see today or you hear about, it's bad. You see a black cat, oh yeah. Black Friday. If you're getting married in white, it's a lot. These are just examples I'm just trying to show you. Please, they help me. Right? Read.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
The heathens are the other nations outside of Israel. Because the Israelites were all dark-skinned people.
That's right.
The only people on this planet that had no pigmentation were the Edomites, the so-called people that descend from Esau.
That's right.
These are the Caucasian people. Everybody else have record of them having pigmentation in their skin. So give me that in Genesis 2 and 7. So all the images of Adam in the garden and Eve was a white woman and a white man with a white woman holding an apple. Lies. Read.
The book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. And the Lord God formed man out of the dust of the ground.
What color is the dust of the ground, bro? What color is the dust of the ground? If you walk down the road and you dig up some dirt, what color is the dirt? I'm asking you. I know, but I'm trying to. My purpose here is to make sure that you understand what is being read. I'm not trying to force it, but you need to. I'm trying to make sure that you understand. I need to interact with you. So I'm asking you, what color is the dust of the ground, the earth? Brown. You never, like if you go and dig up dirt anywhere, what color is it? Alright. What color is the dust? It's brown. So listen over again, right?
The book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7.
Genesis means the beginning. Right? So this is where Adam and Eve, right? Listen.
And the Lord God formed man out of the dust of the ground.
He formed man out of the dust of the ground. That's Adam. Adam was formed out of the dust of the ground. If the dust of the ground is brown, what color would Adam be if he formed them out of? Right? So the first man was a brown-skinned man. Right? Christ, the description of Christ in the Bible is a man with brown skin as if it burned in a furnace. Right?
I was in the billboard there, right?
Right.
I still have a dollar people of Israel. We have 7 people of Israel.
Right.
And the image of the beast.
Sweet.
Yeah. The image of the beast, right? Is that of Satan.
Yes.
And then the kingdom of Israel. Right? The northern kingdom of Israel is the people there. What type of Israel?
The northern kingdom of Israel.
Yeah,
the northern kingdom of Israel is the 10 tribes of Israel. That's the name ascribed to it.
Ascribed to it?
Yes. It's a people. Oh. Israel is a people before it's a place. Right?
You know, but I see the northern, like arranged.
Well, yes. When we were in our rulership under King David and King Solomon and we had our land, the northern kingdom of Israel actually was situated in the northern part. Read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 8. For the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin, and within 65 years shall Ephraim be broken, that it be not the people.
Ephraim is the 10 tribes. Right?
Verse 9. And the head of Ephraim is Samaria.
Samaria, that's the actual place where the northern kingdom dwelled. That's the land that they was given by the Most High.
That's right.
That's why they were called the northern kingdom. Right? But they were all Israelites by the flesh. Right? So you asked about the image of the beast. The image of the beast is this image in Revelation 14 and 9. And all the policies that come with it. Because with this image, this is not in the Bible one. They teach you about Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, birthday. Day, Valentine's Day, all of this comes with that. But hear what the Bible says about it. Read.
Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image.
Worship the beast and his image, because this image is not in the Bible.
That's right.
There's no description of Christ as a white man.
Bring that out.
There's a description of Christ's skin as if it was bronze, as if it burned in a furnace with white woolly hair. Read.
Book of Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. Saying with a loud voice, if any man worship.
If any man worship.
The beast and his image.
The beast and his imagery.
And receive his mark.
And receive his mark. Meaning his policies, his teachings. Because this is what Christianity teaches you. Christianity don't tell you who you are. Christianity has erased the black man's image from the Bible.
That's right.
It has taught you to be a homosexual. It has told you that loving everybody outside of yourself is okay. Yeah, brother. Yes. Give me Daniel 7 and 9. Give me Revelation 1 and 14. You see, that's a very good question, brother. Because everything that is in this Bible is here for our learning. It's better than a pastor told you this. Because
the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9.
We don't worship this, bro. This is just a pictogram to show you what it looks like. Read.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
Do you know who the Ancient of Days is, brother? I'm answering the question. I need to ask you. Wait, hold on. Let me stop 1 minute. The vexor. I will let's go. Hold on. If you don't want to hear, well, bust out. Read.
That's right.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9.
You damn stupid Negro. You're a dunce Negro. Read.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
The Ancient of Days is the Most High. One asks your pastor to show you white man Jesus in the Bible. Read.
That's right. Whose garment was white as snow.
His garment was white as snow. He wasn't just a puff of clouds floating all over. Read.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
And the hair on his head like the pure wool. The Ancient of Days.
That's right.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. Go and pull your Bible if you can read and read it. Revelation 1 and 14. This is the description of the Messiah. Read.
Book of Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hair were white as wool.
His head, the hair on his head, mom, the hair on Christ's head was white like wool. Read.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. White in color. Read.
And his eyes were as the flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet like unto fine brass. This is the description of Christ.
That's right.
He was not a white man. This is the image of Caesar Borgia.
Bring it up.
That is not in the Bible. That was a homosexual. Read.
As if they burn in a furnace.
As if it burned in a furnace. Anybody else want proof? Step right up. Let me wash out your brain. It's all out of stupidness, you know.
That's right.
Set that Jones. The man vex and telling him Christ is a black man, you know. That's to tell you how you hate yourself. You hate yourself big time. But to give me attitude like he's Tony Mataran. Boy, go from here, boy. Read.
The book of St. John chapter 15 and verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
Now you're clean. You have a clear understanding of how Christ would look.
That's right.
Not as Hollywood tell you. Jim Caviezel, fashion of Christ talking about nonsense. Our people truly destroyed, you know. Give me that Hosea 4 and 6. We are truly destroyed by lack of knowledge. The man come up here and hear
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
He was spoiled through philosophy and vain deceit. Because that is what he learned from TV. Too much TV watching. And that's our people. Read.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people, we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We are the only people on the face of the earth, and I say the only people, the so-called black man, the Negro man. The black man knows absolutely nothing but will fight over anything. With his own people, hates himself. Where is the image of the Messiah, bro? Read it first. No, right? Show me. I just show you, brother. Where you want me to do again? Where you want? You want me to get Christ some cake soup? That is what you want.
Yeah. That's right. Turn his skin.
That is what you want. But no, we're not going to do that for you. Give me that Revelation 11 and verse 8. You're dead. You're spiritually dead. Because we have been fed all these lies. For all our life, we have been fed lies, garbage. You celebrating the day a homosexual like an ex-homosexual Valentine's Day. You see something wrong with you?
That's right.
Something totally wrong with our people, Dread. You could buy flower for a girl any other day, bro. You rather wait until a white man tell you when to do that?
Bring it out!
You see something wrong with you? Read.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
The great city is right here. Babylon the Great. Because we have been indoctrinated by America, by Esau. So all of these places is spiritually Babylon the Great. Read.
That's right.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Sodom and Egypt. Because here just like Egypt from long ago. Batty boys roaming the streets normal now. Read.
That's right. Where also our Lord was crucified.
Our Lord was crucified right here. Because you continually push all these dumb images of the Messiah. Read.
Where also our Lord was crucified. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies.
So our people are dead spiritually. You're going to church and clap and sing, but you know nothing about God or what He said. That is an astonishment, an amazement. Our people will walk around talking about sin, but will have no idea what sin is, what it constitutes, or how to repent. Total madness. Read.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding.
This Bible is the way of understanding. So if you can't come with an understanding of the Bible, you're in the congregation of the dead. You're spiritually dead. Read.
Shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
You shall remain in the congregation of the dead. And when the Messiah returns with brimstone and fire, your black behind will get blacker because you'll get roast. Give me that Isaiah 66 verse 15. We think it's fun and games. Give me that Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. We think that the coming of the Most High is the Messiah is a day of light. And everybody go and hold hands and say, Kumbaya, I love you, Jesus. I know yes, the deliverance. The Most High say He coming back to kill. The day of the Lord is a day of darkness. But you sit down here clapping and singing Kumbaya. You're supposed to be finding out what you need to do. Read.
Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with the chariots like a whirlwind.
He is coming with fire to burn you behind. To pay vengeance for sins. Hey, Broken Knight, any questions? You understand what we're bringing out here?
I used to listen to all on YouTube, but they don't call it on YouTube right now.
Yeah, right through with that fight on. You know, they don't like to see the black man rise at all, you know? It's a serious thing. But honestly, big man thing, this is what we out here to really teach. We teach out here to teach our people the truth according to the Bible. We out here to teach our people how to repent. We out here to teach our people that we're supposed to love one another just as Christ loved us. Because if we don't love one another, we ain't going anywhere. We'll remain right here in this captivity. Right? And this so, yeah. The system. Yeah, here the restaurants in Babylon system. They had an idea, you know. They had an idea. They were onto something, but they still was missing a critical part. They still didn't understand plenty. So, according to the Bible, this here is a deceiver, imposter. Right, you're on it. But let me ask you a question. Do you know what your father is? Do you know what your father is? What is your father's race? Yeah, your biological father. Do you know what he is? Is he a Negro, a Chinese, a East Indian? Spanish. He's Spanish. He's from Venezuela. He's from Spain?
Caribs and Arawaks.
Right. So you know your history then. You know who you are. Give me that numbers 1 and 80. It's important to know that because if I take a Zabuka seed from Trinidad, plant it in Tobago, what I'll get? You get Zabuka. So you're not like mixed. Don't let nobody teeth out there and say, oh, you mixed. And talking about, oh, it's 1/16 South Australian. You're a jackass. Right? You are what your father is. So if your father was a Carib, you are a Carib. Your mother is just like the soil in which you were planted, right?
The book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation.
And when they say they, this is Moses with the Israelites in the wilderness, right?
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigree.
They declared their pedigrees, meaning their lineage. So there were 12 tribes of Israel. Wait a second. There are 12 tribes of Israel. And this is what Moses was doing. This is what the book of Numbers means. He was numbering the tribes and putting them in their order. So you're saying, all right, this was the tribe of Reuben, this was the tribe of Naphtali, they have how much and how much in the tribe of Gad, etc. Right?
And they, Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18 continuing. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
By the house of their fathers. Because when we were in Egypt, we didn't know the laws. So we were mixing with these other nations as well. So this is why Moses had to come now and say, right, we have the laws. This is what God said to do. I need to number these people and put them in order. Based on who they are according to their descendants. So give me that in Deuteronomy 7 verse 3. So this was something that was happening. This was something that was happening continually. This captivity that we are in right now is the last captivity. We have been in 6 other captivities before that.
Right.
And in every captivity when we came out, we had to find the laws of God again and start back trying again, rebuilding the temple, the spiritual temple of Israel again, right? Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3. Neither shall thou make marriages with them.
So you're not supposed to make marriages with the other nations. Read.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto her son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
So you hear this from all the other people, the so-called Chinese, the East Indians. All of them say, hey, you're not supposed to marry these other people. Give me that Tobit 4:15. Yeah. You're not supposed to make marriages with these other nations. You're supposed to try and keep your lineage. Because this is, so if I am a Negro, and my race is Negro, but I mix with a Chinese, and she mix with a Caucasian, would my seed still be on the earth? It will be confusion of faces according to the Bible, right?
The book of Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 9. For we were bondmen, yet our God had not forsaken us in our bondage.
We were bondmen. We were in captivity after captivity after captivity. This transatlantic slave trade. Let me show you something here. You say you're a Carib, right? Your father's Carib, right? When Christopher Columbus came here, he sailed in 1452. When Christopher Columbus came here, he found the Caribs and Arawaks, put them on slave ships and sent them back to Europe. He took their gold, took their land, raped their wives, raped the men, enslaved them. The Bible says in Deuteronomy 28 and 68 that the Israelites will go into slavery and slave ships. That happened to you all, to our people. You are our people. That's what we call our people. It's not a black thing, right? They went into slavery on slave ships. 1452, right? Again. You don't want to be involved? You should not make marriages. You should chiefly choose a wife of
No, too big.
2011, huh?
412.
Yeah, 412.
The book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son.
Yeah, what whoredom is according to the Bible. Now listen, read.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy father.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy father. That's one of the transgressions against the law of marriage. You're supposed to take a wife after your father. So that this was so critical when the 12 tribes of Israel was instituted for the giving of possessions or passing on of valuables. So if I am from the tribe of Reuben and I take a wife from the tribe of Judah, it's the man who runs the home. So if I have possessions to give my daughter, then it will go to Judah, it will stay in my tribe. And it's the same thing today. If my daughter marries an East Indian, whatever possessions I have to give her will go to the East Indian because she married an East Indian. You understand? So it's the same thing that's going on today. And this is what we don't know. This is why we so destroyed and so lost. Because Christianity, right? John 3:16, for God so loved the world, and He gives on us all one blood, and all that. But you are the bottom. Your people existence almost get erased from this planet. First peoples, there's about 12 of them. That's what the scriptures say will be left few in number amongst the heathen. The black man at the bottom. Everybody talking peace, love, and unity, but the black man at the bottom. And he's so stupid, he's fighting to protect these other people that have him at the bottom. When we just come and tell a black man just like me, Christ, the true image of Christ is a black man like himself. He just cost me.
Let's do this.
Exactly. I read what the scriptures say. He cost me. And this is why the Most High is saying we are astonishment. We are astonishment.
No more hiding. No more stalling.
Because
I hear you calling me, and I'm coming. See me running. I give in. You win. I give in. You win.
I try, but I just can't keep this thing to myself. Look time low and I know ain't nobody else. But I'm focused now and I know it's all about you. You always see me through, that's what you do. Tell me where would I go, where would I be? Love's hard to find but you blind and losing your way. And now ain't nobody else for me, it's just you. You got my time all the time, anytime my mind's on you.
No more hiding, no more stalling. I hear you calling me, and I'm coming. See me running. I give in. You win. I give in. You win. Whoa.
They laugh at me and they say I'm going too far. But it's satisfying my soul to give you my all. They don't understand what I got is so real. They can talk about me, they can kick me out, but can't take away what you give. People telling me that I'm probably too far gone, but they don't understand where I've been and they walk the road that I walked on. Tell me who I'm gon' call on. What solid ground can I fall on? You everything that I never dreamed of. You give me meaning, it's all on you. You know you got me deep up in this thing, I'm all in. I swear ain't no love like this love that I've been given. I can't resist, it's just too much, your love is endless. And I don't care what they say no more, no way I did it.